Welcome back, Lego builders and Minecrafters, to one of the final videos on building Mumbo's base out of Lego. And now you may be asking, aren't you milking this content? And to that, I have to say yes, absolutely yes. I mean, can you blame me? I built this thing for 9 months, and I think it's deserving of at least 2 finale episodes. So the last video was more of an epic, just kind of pictures, short, and just kind of showing you around the mock. And now this video is going to be a little bit longer, a little bit more of me talking and explaining, giving my thoughts and like what I want to improve on, and like the most difficult thing about this mock and that sort of thing. So it's a lot more chilled, like relaxed, and just talking about the build. But before we get started, I have 3 announcements for you all. So the first announcement is you guys should stick around to the end of the video because I am changing my outro music and it is godly. I absolutely love the new music. It is insane. And so I hope you stick around to give that a listen. And now the second announcement is a little bit more crazy and awesome, and that is a couple months ago, Mumbo Jumbo himself contacted me and he wanted to support some of the costs of the parts for this build. So, full disclosure, Mumbo Jumbo himself has supported 1/3 of the cost for the parts for this build, so an absolutely massive thank you to our mustache friend for supporting this build. I mean, that in itself is just super insane. And now the final announcement isn't quite as exciting. In fact, it's a little bit of bad news, and this is regarding Grian's mansion out of Lego. I don't really feel motivated to do it. So I think a little while ago, I think I made like 2 videos, and just with that, you can see that I was like super excited and definitely a little bit too ambitious. And now that season 8 has started, which I had no clue was gonna happen, and it even started the same day I released the finale for this video, so that was perfect timing. But now that season 8 started, basically all my motivation to build Grian's base has vanished, so that probably won't be happening. Now, it depends if like the hermits take a while to build up their mega bases and that sort of thing, so there could still be a small series where I build like a small one of Grian's mansion in studio, but it's likely not gonna happen. So I'm very sorry if you guys wanted to see that. But I hope you can understand that, like, if a new thing starts, like Season 8, then you don't really feel like doing the old stuff. Oh, and actually looking at it right now, I guess I forgot to turn on the lights, so I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, that looks a little bit better, but actually from this side, the lights are, like, not quite lining up. Like, I can only see, like, 3 of them, so that one, and that one. So, I don't know, they're not quite lining up, so it looks a little bit weird, but oh well. Oh yeah, and 2 problems. The light down there that lit up the portal, it's now dead, and so is the speaker inside that played the heartbeat sound. So you did hear the heartbeat sound at the beginning of the finale episode, but I guess now the speaker is dead, so it's a really big hassle to try and get it out and recharge it, so I suppose we'll just leave it in there. Oh, that reminds me, I had another announcement. So I'm gonna do a live stream of destroying this base. It probably won't be until July, but look out for that. So I suppose let's move a little bit closer to the build. And yeah, I'm not really sure what to talk about, but in terms of building, I started with the octagon, and then I moved to the wrenches and did all of them. And then we did work on the hill and that sort of thing, and then the inner structure, and then finally the outer structure all the way to the top, and then obviously at the very end we did all of Scar's modifications like the trains and the waterfalls. So yeah, I think overall this thing came out quite nicely. And as Mumbo would say, I am absolutely chuffed to bits. So I guess we can go a little bit free form here and off of the stand. So zooming in there, you can kind of see the portal. So you can kind of see the pink in there with all the black around. And it is hollow in there, so it is just like Mumbo's base, and you can kind of see through to the other sides. And then obviously we have to include chickens because poultry man. Oh yeah, and I think if we come over to the other side, the lighting I think was a lot better on that side. And obviously I don't really have too much of a way to control that because it's basically like miniature Christmas lights in there. So they're really small and really difficult to move around. So that's what is in there lighting that up. Oh yeah, and also in the finale video, I think I said that there was 10,000 parts in this entire build. And I think that's close. It's a very, very rough guess. But now I'm actually thinking it's a little bit more. So probably like 10,500 parts or something like that. But yes, it is an absolute ton, and it's kind of crazy, really. And here for scale, I have the UCS A-Wing and the UCS Slave 1 next to Mumbo's base, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of scale. So I guess in terms of features of this build, you obviously got the lights that aren't working down there, and the heartbeat, and I guess that's basically it. This is mainly a display piece. So with this mock, I think what I learned a lot of was doing like walls and that sort of thing. So as you can see, this wall here is a lot nicer, at least in my opinion, than the one down there, and that's because I was like blending colors together a lot more and making everything kind of line up and match together a little bit more than down at the bottom. So I definitely got a lot of needed experience with doing like walls and that sort of thing, and I even learned a couple of new techniques like using bars on the inside of the wall so you could do these cool like little juts out and other parts that would even stick in a little bit. So that's super cool, and I can't wait to improve on my techniques even more with some of the future builds. Because some of you people out there think I'm like a Lego master or like a Lego god or something, but that is certainly not the case. In fact, I would put myself on the fairly noob spectrum of things in terms of all like the Lego mock designers out there, but I am definitely improving with time. And one of the things that challenged me the most were these wrenches. These things took a very, very long time. And in fact, I was already done the design by episode 2, which seems pretty insane. But I spent a lot of time in studio trying to figure everything out. And in the end, it all fits together and somehow they stay up. I mean, these things do not look like they should be able to stay up. Like, they look way too back heavy. But somehow they do, especially these ones. They also have the support of the chains, but they balance like basically perfectly, and if there's any more weight to them, then they would definitely fall over. And now onto things that I would like to improve on with this mock. And while there are a lot of little things, I think the biggest is probably the octagon. I think it should have been at least twice as big, and then that would have made everything like a lot better to fit in. Like, as you can see, these things are like basically hanging off of the edge of that hill there. So it would have made the interior a little bit bigger because I would have moved everything outward and then made the octagon a lot bigger as well. And then that would have helped with like the scaling of everything, and it wouldn't have been so crammed in there. And then another thing that I would change is probably make these things a lot taller and a lot more thick, like in Minecraft. So here's a picture of the Minecraft version, and then here's like mine right here, and as you can see, it is a lot like taller and skinnier, and the Minecraft one is a lot shorter and fatter, so just a little bit of scaling issues there. So to make it more accurate, I suppose that is what I could improve on. Oh yeah, and now I have to give an absolutely massive thank you to Hermit Brick for giving me the prints of these minifigures, because obviously without these Mumbo, Grian, and Scar minifigures, this mock would lose a lot of its life, and it definitely looks a lot better with these minifigures in it. And then from the finale here, you can see I did a couple of scenes with like Grian pushing Scar into the water, so that seemed like a funny Grian thing to do. And even right now you can see I set it up so Grian is like thinking of dropping an apple on Mumbo. Kind of the trickster thing that Grian would do, and what we've come to expect him to do as well. And I suppose I am missing one person, and that is Iskall. He should definitely be included here, but I don't have any more Minecraft minifigures, so that is kind of sad that Iskall isn't included in here, but I definitely think he should, so maybe that's another thing that I should add. And another really challenging part about this build was connecting this top section to all 4 of the pillars. That took me probably the better part of an hour. Like, hooking it all in, and I actually had to get help from my dad to like hold it up while I was attaching it all in. So that took a while, but in the end it all worked out and nothing catastrophic happened, and then I had to like restart over. Oh yeah, I remember in, what was it, like episode 21 or something, I remember destroying the pillars because I messed up on the design and they weren't quite working out and were being a big hassle. Like they kept falling apart. So yeah, I think the part that I am most proud about on this build is probably the wrenches, because they came out so well. But there are some cracks, so obviously there's some issues with it. But otherwise, I think the heart came out really, really well, as like this top section right here. I really love how this came out, especially with these little like plant parts sticking up there. I love how that came out. And I don't think I can really choose a single part of this build that I absolutely love, although I think you guys can all guess it. It's the chariot on the top. I mean, how can you not love the chariot? I think that actually was originally built by Iskal, so that's amazing. So I have had so much fun designing and building this MOC for the better part of a year, and it has been so fun to see all the suggestions and new people coming in the comments. So I have to say a massive thank you to all of you for supporting this build, and I absolutely can't wait to see what Mumbo builds next, and then what we will build next probably in Lego. Oh yeah, and after this there is gonna be one more video about Mumbo's base, so that will be the last one, I promise. And then we can look forward to other things. Oh yeah, and then during like June and July, while I'm waiting for Mumbo to build up his next base, or any of the hermits for that matter, I will be doing other things, like maybe even doing a little bit of Minecraft, so I might do 1 or 2 Minecraft videos, or we might even do an organizing Lego live stream, because that definitely needs to happen, and I have a bunch of Lego that needs to be organized. So that could happen as well. So I guess this is basically the end of Mumbo's MOC. It is kind of sad to see it go, and it's kind of like a hit in the face or something, because I have been working on it for so long, and it seems so weird to not be working on Mumbo's base. Okay, I'm blabbing on a little bit too long here, so I thank you all for watching. Please leave a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. We are actually really, really close to 500 subscribers, so I think we're only like 49 away. So make sure you do that, then I'll have a 500 subscriber special. But I think with that said, we can wave goodbye to Mumbo's base, and we can look forward to the future. So with that said, Gigahertz Productions, out.